With most Americans sick and tired of the federal government trying to run their lives, why does the government just keep growing? Joining me now is one of the most prominent political voices defending personal freedom in America today, my Fox colleague and friend Glenn Beck. Glenn, welcome.
All right, sir.
Are you surprised that the government does not want to prosecute overt acts of racism that interfere with the rights of people to exercise their freedom to vote?
I think everybody is shocked by that. Everybody should be horrified by that. Anytime that we have seen this in the past in reverse with African Americans, every American should be shocked and horrified and stand up to stop it. Racism is a human condition, not a black or white condition. Now, unfortunately, what we're seeing now is not racism. It's a power grab. That's all it is an attempt to intimidate and to grab power.
Whatever you think of Abraham Lincoln, whatever you think of the Civil War, we have the Civil War amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. You know this because you're a student and a great explainer of history. Those amendments were written to keep the government from making decisions based on race. Doesn't this government, doesn't this Justice Department make decisions based on race?
Yeah.
Do you think that those guys in Philadelphia would have been prosecuted if they were white?
Oh my gosh, Judge, yes. Absolutely they would have been. And they should be prosecuted if they're black or Hispanic or Asian. It doesn't matter. This is interfering with our republic, with the most precious thing that we have, the right to express ourselves in a voting booth. This is, you know what, and again, this isn't about race. What everybody is missing here is the fact that what we laid out earlier this week is this is an attempt to move forward and start the engine of civil unrest. When you get, by the time we get to November, we are going to have real problems with groups like the Black Panthers, like Acorn, that are going to be out causing trouble. And then, after the election, we hit this lame duck session. I'm telling you, Judge, we're in real trouble.
All right, one of the principal jobs of the government is to maintain peace so that we can interact with each other commercially and civilly without unrest.
They will.
Why do you think the government itself, Glenn, wants civil unrest? This is unheard of for the government to
Van
foment
Jones,
this.
if you look at what Van Jones said in the America Now conference, this is a conference of the real radicals in our country. He was talking about 6 weeks ago, and he said, the president wants to do the things you want to do. The president is on your side. Now, you just need to go out and be out in the streets and do the things that you need to do. Be active. Be active to force this president to do the things he knows is right. What they're doing is they're using a vice. He's standing there, and believe me, he'll be there to protect you. He's standing there and not recognizing it right now. The DOJ is winking and nodding. As this thing starts to wind up, eventually people will say, hey, 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 calm this down. You got to stop this racism. Well, what did the NAACP do? What has Missouri and the Department of Homeland Security already said about the Tea Parties? That they're racist. So the president will be more than happy to be able to take care of all of these racist protests, all these racists on the streets.
This week, the press secretary, Bob Gibbs, one of the president's own guys, drove Nancy Pelosi up the wall when he predicted that the Democrats will lose the House this November. Let's say his prediction, it comes to pass. What do you fear will happen in the lame duck session of the Congress?
They're going to pass everything. They have nothing to lose. This Congress will take that buggy ride time period after the election. You had a buggy ride. You got to get those people on horseback to Washington, D.C. They're going to take that time period that was meant for travel, and they are going to jam everything through. Everything through. When that happens, Americans are into fair play. When that happens, I fear that a lot of Americans are going to say, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. We put up with it. You didn't listen to it. We had to walk through a wall of fire to go vote. We voted, and now you jam this through? It's not going to be good, Judge.
It's not going to be good. The welfare state created by FDR, has this helped blacks to become self-sufficient or hurt them?
Crush. Look at Detroit. Look at Philadelphia. I lived in Philadelphia. Look at that. Look at every single, some of these cities have had 100-year progressive rule, and look at the shape that they're in. Now look at Texas. You tell me, which is better for prosperity, freedom or government-controlled economy.
We have an African-American president. Yeah. Why doesn't he understand the self-evident truth that you just articulated?
We just talked about this on television this week, Judge, that we have a situation now where we have radicals surrounding this president, radicals that understand liberation theology. That is collective salvation. The president has said it in several speeches. My salvation is tied up to the collective salvation.
Okay.
That's insane.
The president believes that groups have rights, not individuals.
Exactly right. And it's tied directly to his view of God. So what he's doing is, and this is what the Pope Benedict has said, when you go down this road, it's not divine, it's demonic. And what he's saying is I'm going to have to, he's putting himself in the role of the Messiah, I'm going to have to do these things to save us all. With that kind of theology comes redistribution of wealth and the punishing of the oppressor.
Glenn, this is pure Marxism.
Oh, I know
this is Marxism, the likes of which we have never seen on this side of the Atlantic.
The American people are catching up. 55% of the American people say the man is a socialist, and there's socialist policies around him and socialists around him. You better pick up your speed here on getting this, because it's not just socialism. We're not headed towards France.
His approval ratings are dropping. The disapproval ratings are going up. The disapproval is at 56%. Dick Morris tells me if it reaches 60, he can't govern, that no modern American president can govern when 60% of the country doesn't trust him.
I would like to amend that. Dick is right with this understanding. Unless there's an emergency, no president has been able to govern with bad approval ratings. Emergencies change everything. Civil unrest changes everything.
All right. In the aftermath of 9/11, the government enacted a number of statutes with a Republican Congress and a Republican president to give President Bush and all of his successors extraordinary powers when that magic word is touched, emergency.
Giant mistake.
It was a mistake then, but he has this power now. Do you think that simply by declaring an emergency, this president will assume some sort of authoritarian rule?
Say, you know what? Let's be very, very careful. We have to expect the best, prepare for the worst. You have to expect the best. When all is said and done, we have never had a president do anything like this. We've had Abraham Lincoln. The key is Abraham Lincoln restored it in the end. He came back and restored it. We've never had an American president seize that kind of power. They've tried. That has lasted. You've had Woodrow Wilson gather people up and put them behind barbed wire without a trial.
Right.
You've had FDR do the exact same thing, just based on race.
You are on a national campaign to restore honor. You've been all over the country. You may have an enormous gathering in Washington, D.C. on August 28th. What's that all about?
It's actually about this. This is the...
Can I have one of those shirts?
Yes, you may. This is a badge of merit that was done by George Washington. It was lost in history. There's only 3 of them that we know of.
He actually designed that logo?
Yeah, he designed this logo, and I believe Martha Washington may have made them. There were 3 of them given out that we know of. The whole history was lost until 1933. This is what the Purple Heart is based on, except George Washington knew that if we were going to beat the most powerful force on earth, we had to be people of honor and merit. That's what we have to restore again.
Before I let you go, is big government conservatism just as dangerous to human liberty as big government progressivism?
Well, if you want to say left is communism and right is fascism of Hitler, you're darn right it is. Small government, freedom, return to principles. Period.
Couldn't have said it better. Glenn, thanks for joining.